Hello, quilters. I am here. I Let me get everything turned on so we can get started. Get the chat turned on. I wasn't sure I would be here today. I wasn't sure where I'd be. If you are like me and somewhere in the United States, in 80% of the United States, you've had your life disrupted the last couple of days by a snowstorm. But I am home. Was in, I was out of town caring for my mom while my sister was on vacation. So we had to deal with trying to get my sister home from vacation, which we managed to. Miracle that she got home with all of the disrupted flights. But then by the time she was home, I couldn't get home. So I didn't come home till yesterday. And I need to give great big thank you to the highway workers because I drove on interstates 79, 80, 81, and 84 yesterday. Um, and that's in Pennsylvania and New York. And they were shockingly not bad. Wetter in the morning, but it was really clear. Secondary roads, much less so, but I wasn't expecting much. So I am home. Wasn't sure I would be home, but I'm home. I finished driving in all of the weather yesterday, and I'm looking outside and it's snowing again because, of course, it is. I know, January in New York, we should expect this. Doesn't mean we have to like it. Don't have to like it at all. Because no, not very excited. Um, very grateful that my sister got home safely from her trip and had a great trip, and very excited that I got home with little event. And I am now home for one day and get to leave again tomorrow because I will be on my way to teach at Bits and Pieces in New Hampshire. Um, we were, if you are like me and live in the Northeast United States, you know they're talking about another storm coming. Do I sound excited about this? No. So we weren't sure if we were going to cancel the entire trip this week due to weather because we do have a snow date to go next week. But it looks like it might only be Sunday. So I'm heading out tomorrow. And on Thursday, I'm going to teach a class on free motion quilting on a stationary machine, stationary long arm or home sewing machine. And in the afternoon, I'm going to be teaching quilting with rulers on a stationary long arm or a home sewing machine. And then Friday, actually, let me pull this all up. So, BNP quilts. What else am I teaching? So, Thursday is all about home machines and stationary long arms. Let's see. Friday is advanced ruler work. So not just how to use a ruler. This is the rest of the week is long arm. So ruler work and free motion quilting. Saturday is all about long arm quilting, loading a long arm, free motion quilting, stitch regulation, rulers, etc. And then Sunday is Pro Stitcher, if I'm still there, and threads, talking about threads and needles and tension. But something exciting. The shop has booked me for a couple virtual like online classes. One is free motion on a home sewing machine virtual class, and two are working with Pro Stitcher. So we have some plans. I personally love doing things online because I always joke whenever I teach online. Now, I'm not saying I'm not wearing pants, but I am saying that I don't have to. I am wearing pants. I promise. They're black Lands End trousers. I'm even wearing shoes. So I do take it seriously, but working from home has its privileges. I love working in person. There's just nothing like being with quilters. But with all this nonsense going on outside with a couple feet of snow and more coming, it's great to be able to work at home. So, how did you make out? I was shocked when I saw that 40 of the 50 United States were hit by this storm. So, if you paid me to, I probably could name all 50 states, not in order. But I'm thinking, so California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Hawaii, Alaska, and Florida. I'm thinking those were for sure not impacted. And after that, it would have to be something like North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, somewhere around there, because the I don't know which way. I don't know if I'm reversed here or not, but the storm went diagonally across the US. So it has to be like the top northwest corner, Alaska and Hawaii, and Florida that didn't get hit. So 40 out of 50 states got this. And I've been hearing online people that were upset that they didn't get what was forecast. Yeah. I just feel so bad for my brother-in-law who had to dig me out yesterday so I could drive home and take care of his house and then go take care of my mom's house because I'm worthless with a shovel. And my husband, who was taking care of things here so I could get back in my house. It's a lot when you're dealing with snow, snow, snow. Anyway, I am home. I will not be quilting today. I will not be quilting tomorrow. I will be like 3 weeks out of my sewing room, but I'm going to quilt like crazy when I get home. So, um, how are you? Did you survive the storm? Leave me a comment and let me know how it's going. I'm not seeing any comments. Let me see if my my program is working or if we have quiet people today. So let me go. Doo, doo, doo. I'm just looking for comments. Oh, I do have comments. So my comments aren't working today. So Joan, no, not enough snow. So hello, Joan. I'm glad you're here. And let me check on YouTube. I'm not seeing if I'm getting comments. I got to go on YouTube to find those. Oh, wait, I got another one. 18 to 20 inches in Shahola. It's pretty close to what we got here. And let's see what's going on YouTube. I dislike the days when the comments aren't working on my end. Your comments are fine. I can't see them. I usually can just see them on my sideboard here. So let me go to my YouTube page and see what comments are going on over here. So Patty, hello in Ohio, Patty. I'm guessing you got hit because, yeah, I felt bad for the people who got hit with ice because when I was driving, I was on the highways and I'm like, as long as I don't drive like a jerk, I'll be fine. The roads were pretty well plowed. There was a full lane clear the whole way. And most of the time there was a second lane clear. It was once I got off to go to the bathroom, to go get gas, to get food, and had to get off the highway. So the on-ramps, the off-ramps, rest stops, and the secondary roads going to gas stations and restaurants was rough. It was sliding around and I had on really big high boots because I'm pumping gas standing at 18 inches of snow. Um, and and they did exactly what they should do. They took care of the major highways first. The secondary roads can wait. Parking lots can wait even longer. I was impressed at how easy it was getting up my mountain. I was expecting the last 3 miles would be rough, and I actually didn't even come the right way. I took, a flatter way, it's longer off of the highway, but the direct way from the highway to my house is a big, windy road with no sides on it and blind curves, and I'm like, probably not the best." So I took a straighter, less shocking way home, and it was shockingly not bad. So I'm really impressed with highway crews. But yeah, I would have been happy to not be driving yesterday, but driving Sunday seemed worse. And by the time I knew my sister got home, it was not enough time for me to get home before the storm because my sister's flights were canceling everywhere, and we moved her flights because anyway, she was supposed to be going through states where the entire airline system closed. And believe it or not, Chicago was the right choice to fly through Chicago rather than a southern city. So kind of weird. Let me go back and see if I can see any more comments. No, still. But hello to those who are watching. I see Laura and Ray. Laura, you got through the storm in Colorado, just a few inches on a lot of cold. Yeah, I mean, we're balmy today. It's up to like 14 degrees. It's crazy. Crazy. I'm glad we got a second digit in there because we didn't. But if I were so the week at my mom's, let's see, people go out and buy milk and bread, which I did have to buy because my sister was coming home from vacation, and I hadn't been doing much cooking or shopping there, but I wanted to make sure they had food that they could start at. I always buy milk and stuff for them before they get home. So I'm at the grocery store and buying milk and bread, and my cart is just trying to get to the toilet paper, because you can't buy milk and bread without buying toilet paper before a storm. We didn't need toilet paper. We did need milk and bread. But I made sure I got the important things. I went to a bakery. So yeah, we had cake. And I baked a ham and everything was fine. If you don't live where there's a lot of snow, you don't know that you're probably okay. I told my husband I'll be out tomorrow, or I could go out tonight to get stuff before the next storm comes in. He was like, "Why?" And that's about it. And I think the pandemic proved that to us, because we didn't go shopping for months. And I have enough food here to last. And fortunately, I had enough toilet paper to last. So if I can make it through months and months and months of grocery stores not being stocked during the pandemic, I can make it through a couple days. I'm hoping the next storm disappears. Nor'easter can just go away. That would be great. Or that I get home in time to be here for it and not stuck in a hotel somewhere. But yeah, winter. Winter is my third favorite season. I like fall, then spring, then winter. Summer's still the worst, but I can be talked into winter being worse. And Laura, your snow, I think, doesn't last very long in Colorado, because it evaporates pretty quickly. Like, we have a couple feet of snow here, and if we get another foot of snow, we're gonna have the snowbanks here till May. But I was in Colorado when I was filming for Craftsy, and I was there around Valentine. I'm there like three times, I think. And I was there around Valentine's Day, and the week before, they had a big snowstorm with a couple feet of snow, and then I'm sitting outside at a cafe in 70-degree weather in Denver, making sure that I don't get a sunburn, because I'm really pale. I didn't want to get a sunburn to mess up for the next day's filming. So I know your weather can swing wildly. We don't get 70 and sunny in January ever, or February. But I did experience that in Colorado. I was sitting outside at a cafe trying to make sure I didn't get sunburned, because that would ruin the makeup. So that was my trip. I made it home. While I was at my mom's, I had Saturday morning snow, Sunday morning snow, Monday morning snow, Wednesday night sleet, more snow. I'm just getting a comment here now. Laura, okay, your comments are coming in, Laura. You do still have snow from the storm, though. Yeah, okay. I don't know why that came in, but cool. Glad that worked. Comments are tricky little things here. I don't like when they don't work. I'm sorry, my hair is super static today. So it's just gross. I apologize for that. So here I am in my studio in between work. My laundry is just finished in the dryer. I'll fold that when we're done, because you got to unpack the suitcase to repack the suitcase. Yesterday I didn't know I was coming home. I had planned to drive home today, but then my sister's street was plowed. My brother-in-law got my car out, and I'm like, it's noon. Why don't I give this a try? I was out the door in 30 minutes. My sister's like, wow, you pack fast. I'm like, I have a lot of practice. I did, however, steal her garage door opener. It's still in my car. So I'm sure my sister's not watching this, but it's in the mail. I'll mail it. It's cool. It'll be in the mail tomorrow morning. So what did I didn't bring everything with me. What did I finish last week? Let me see. What can I pull up here? So I didn't start anything new last week. I took all things to finish, and I did finish them. Where is this? Try to find some pictures for you. Here we are. Okay, let me share this with you. Share. Okay, so I have a shirt. It's called a rocket tee, like rock it, IT, rocket. It's a V-neck tee. And this yarn is from Mayak. It's a short sleeve. It's supposed to be a cap sleeve tee, but I put a short sleeve on it. And then I put a longer hem instead of a rolled hem on it. So the only rolled edging, the I-cord edging was on the neck. It is made to match the shoes that I'm wearing right now. It is Tibetan cloud wool, baby yak, and linen blend. So it's a t-shirt. So if you are coming to my classes in New Hampshire this week, I will be bringing this. It's not suitable weather for a t-shirt yet, but it's suitable weather for a t-shirt under a cardigan. So I will have this on one day this week. I did finish it. The sleeves were supposed to be rolled sleeves. So they were just supposed to be nothing on the underarm and just a little bit over the top. And I think I added like 3 inches there because my arms need a little help. The second thing I finished was this pair of socks. This is a take on the flax socks, I think, from Tin Can Knits, but I took the garter stitch out of the top, and I've changed the height of it because I have to wear short socks. My legs, I'm in heart failure, so I have problem retaining water in my legs. So these are shorter socks, and the yarn is Les Garçons. And it was designed specifically for my friend's yarn store down at Pick Up Every Stitch. This yarn is called Karen's Pearl, and Pearl is her dog. So this yarn was dyed specifically for an event 2 years ago. I made a scarf out of it. I now have socks out of it. So I did finish that. And then the third project I brought with me was Dotted Rays. And that is a Stephen West scarf. The yarn I don't know much about because I didn't write it down. It was a cake. It was an ombre cake from dark green to light green. And Stephen West is like the hard knitting pattern dude. And this is one of his easier patterns, but it's going well. So that's what I did. So finished and then in process. So those were just some finishes. Let's see. Terry, it's finally above freezing in Texas. Yeah, I know you guys got it. Yeah, the comments are being really weird. I'm sorry about that, guys. You can leave comments. I'll find them. I'll pull them up. And I'm sorry about the cold in Texas because your houses just aren't built with the insulation and the heating and all of that. So you're not meant for that. Like I have family in Georgia. They'll be stuck home forever. I knew, you dump 2 feet of snow on us, we're out in 18 hours, guaranteed. In the 30 plus years I've lived in this part of New York, we were stuck home from Tuesday to Monday. 6 days was the longest we've been stuck home, but that was feet and feet and feet of snow plus an ice storm. So there were trees down everywhere. It was just a complete disaster. And I know they say every 10 years we get a blizzard, but this was in 2010. The worst storm that I've ever experienced was in 2010. So it wasn't a year that ended in a 6. So, when I think of storms, I don't think, ooh, that one in 96 was bad. I think, ooh, 2010. But made it through that one. So that's what I finished this week. I didn't start anything this week. Before I left, I was working on this quilt here. And this quilt is my Unity Quilt Along from 2024 from Primitive Gatherings. So I'm behind. I have a little map over there that I've printed out in black and white of how big the quilt is I need it to be. And I'm just markering them in as I'm finished. And this quilt's going to be for my mom for her bed. So she doesn't have a computer, so I know I can say this. Because she'll never see it, but it's 1.5 million triangles or like 5,000 or 4,000 or something. But it's a fun little project. So that's my UFO. That's my in process. So Cindy, hello. I'm glad to see you. I hope everything's going well. You're recovering well, and that this storm isn't messing you up too badly, nor will the next one, because I know you're in that line as well. But I'm glad to see you here. So what's new? What is new is I got a package from Primitive Gatherings. So I ordered that a long time ago, like last summer. Primitive Gatherings, Lisa is a fabric designer, and she takes pre-orders on the fabric to help them know how much they're going to print. So I pre-ordered her newest Americana line. because I love me a good red, white, and blue. This is Primitive American Gatherings 3. So I got that. I got, what else? The panel to go along with it. Let's take a look at the panel. So she does still have these in stock, I think, but I just ordered mine ahead of time. So this is the panel that goes with the yardage. And I'm thinking that needs to be the center part of a bedspread. Don't you? Like this with blocks around it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But that came. It was so much fun to be tired of staring at snow on the highway, because I did drive into some squalls, and I did a little sliding around on the secondary roads to get out of my car and go, ooh, presents. And then Lisa at Primitive Gatherings designs, writes a book to go with her fabric line. So I ordered the book because got to support our friend. We support our friend. So there's that quilt is the one she designed using the panel, but I think this is maybe 72 inches, and I'm thinking it needs to be bigger if I want that as my bedspread. But there's a couple other quilts in here. Like the first one I think I'm going to make. Where is it? This one. Let me find a better picture. Terry, the last snowstorm you were in was in 2019. It was a hard trip. Oh, I remember. You didn't even make it to my house. So these are airplanes. Isn't that cool? I think I need to make that quilt. I have a grandson who's obsessed with airplanes. Now, speaking of something new, I have a new grandson who was born minutes, but a couple hours before the storm hit. But he's a bruiser. I'm not sure his older sister's letting mom have a turn with him at all, because he has a 3-year-old sister or second mother. But yeah, I have a big bruiser baby. So and then there were 5. So I now have 5 grandchildren. This one was only 13 days late, 14 days late. Yeah. So poor mom, but I think this child's already in like size 9-month clothes, something like that. Maybe a year-old clothes. I'm thinking he should be driving soon. He's a bit of a brute. Let's see. Terry, you left your big coat there that week. I'm sorry. Second moms are the best. Yes. I can't wait to meet him. And as I'm going to bits and pieces this weekend, maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll get to stop by. We'll see if they're up for guests. But I'm thinking baby's next older brother might need an airplane quilt at some point, because he just loves airplanes. Let's see what else is in my box. So let's see. So I ordered, apparently Moda put out a collector's edition box of different lines of fabric. So I ordered one. I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, you know what? I probably need that. So I have this handy dandy little snappy box. I have an American Quilter sticker to go on my water bottle. My sister bought me another new water bottle, which is good because it is stickerless at this point. A little book about the designer, which is Lisa, who's fabulous. You should all love her as much as I do. Some triangle, these things you put on to stitch across your triangles so you don't have to mark them. Got that. I got a little needle minder that will stick to my project, and it's magnetic, so it has a little neat magnet thingy. I have a little kit and pattern. So this is a little quilt that is 21 by 24 inches. I have some triangle papers. Let's see. I'm on a little desk here, so I don't have any room to sit anything. I don't keep a big desk for my computer because it'll just get covered. So I just have, the desk is only big enough to hold my computer. Let me see if I can open this. There we go. So triangle papers. So these, you can put them on your fabric and you get perfect little triangles. So a whole tablet of that. A nice notebook from one of the quilts that is graph paper. Here's the fabric that goes, I think this is the fabric that goes with the kit, with the pattern. Let me see. So this takes 10 8x8 red prints and 8x8 blue prints. So my guess is that's what this is. 8x8, 20 pieces. But then there's this in here too. And I got some 12 weight Valdani in color 775, which I can never have enough of. And then this I wanted to open last night, but I needed to put my feet up. Let's see. I don't know what this is, but we'll find out. I know what I think it is. So this is a little charm that you can go on a bag. I can use these as dangly stitch markers, like the Hello Kitty one I had. These could be my knitting stitch markers, go on bags. But then there's a chain here, and I'm not really sure what it's for. Is this maybe to make a charm from the other designers? Not sure. Let me see if I can open it. The chain was what was throwing me. Maybe I can collect my charms on here. This is what I couldn't do last night and apparently can't do today either. There we go. Let's try to open this. There we go. If this is big enough for a bracelet, we're calling it a bracelet. Yep, I think it's big enough for a bracelet. So I can hang my charms from here as well. And so I got that in the box. And then I got another treat in the box. They said, what does it say? One more treat. Free gift. As a thank you for your purchase and donating the Mission of Honor program, it's kind of like an honor flight taking veterans, renting out the airplanes and giving a trip. We've included the Old Glory Gatherings kit and pattern as a free gift. So I now have this Old Glory Gatherings. It finishes at 12 inches. I think it is a sheeple and some stars on the little kit. So yeah, I came home to presents, and that's never a bad thing, is it? We like presents. So yeah, we're getting votes that it's a necklace or a bracelet to put the charms on. And I'll just pack my stuff back up. I'm not going to cut into this because I'm trying to finish things before I start things, like that, and some other things. Like I meant to have content out yesterday that didn't get out before I left. It isn't going to get out today. So it'll be another week. Now I have a quilt hanging over there that you can't see. That's already going to go out. You'll get new content next Monday, but there wasn't any content this Monday. Sorry about that. Life happens sometimes. I was darn fern. They named the winter storm Fern. And I'm not sure when or why we started naming winter storms like hurricanes, but this storm's name was Fern. So let me see if I can get this hair out of my face. It's just touching me. Do you have static days like that? Beth Flanagan, hello. And it is snowing again. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. My car, I have a new car. It's maybe 2 years old, year and a half old. I don't know. 2 years old, I think. Anyway, it's new and it's smart. The car we got rid of was 19 years old. So any car under 10 years old is new. My car is smart, but I discovered that when you get gook on the front of your car, you can't have cruise control because it senses the road. And it kept saying, nope, we're disabling these features on your car. Please clean these sensors. So, my car has lane assist. It has assist that it has like that automatic braking thing, but it also wouldn't give me cruise control, which was annoying. I'd see pretty soon they'll name individual snowflakes. It could happen. We named the storm because we own it. Okay. I don't know. I think 40 of the 50 states got owned this week by that storm. And for where we are in New York, it's not a particularly bad storm. We've had worse. I think just the scope of it was crazy, kind of shutting down all the flights. Some of the people who were on the cruise with my sister weren't getting flights out till next week, 5 to 10 days after they docked, which is insane. Absolutely insane. So it was just a miracle my sister got home, and I'm glad everything went well for her. It was inevitable that you're going to sit there and watch news and hear stories of people getting stranded, and I was just glad they weren't my people. So that's what's old. That's what's new. Let's see. The content that is new this week, I said there was no Monday content, but I do put out content on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as well. Madeline, you never use your cruise control. Live with cruise control. Always have since it first came out. So it's not like a new feature for me, back when whatever the settings were and they weren't very accurate, I've always used cruise control. It's just a nice backup to keep a lead foot from happening is what it is. It's ticket insurance. Ticket prevention in my case. So 30 days from quilt top to quilted. So the content we have going out since I last talked to you. So we talked about marking your quilt. And I use a lot of Pounce, but I also use chalk pencils. So that's in the 30 days from quilt top to quilted. We have getting a grip on your quilt. How do you hold? Oh, I've lost you. I can't see you. How do you hold on to your quilt when you're pushing a quilt? I personally use bat scooters a lot. I will occasionally use Handy Quilter sweet spots or Handy Quilter paddles. And so, I rarely use gloves, but there's a bunch of different options that I talk about. So that is in the class. What else is in the class this week? I talk about threading your machine. Did you know there was something to know about threading your machine? You're like, I've been threading my machine forever. Yeah, we have. And you do this, go across, down, up, down, and into the needle. But did you know how thread comes off your needle matters? I was supporting sewing machines at a quilt show, not in my class, but I was helping the teacher. And somebody put a cone on the table next to their sewing machine and was trying to pull thread off the side of the cone. That's not how cones work. It's going to add weight because you have to move the weight of that cone around. You want the thread to gently pull off the top, and the twist that adds that is added when you pull and unspool a cone is incorporated into how that thread is wound, so that you're not getting that extra kinky winding in there. And the same thing happens if you have a flat spool of thread. It's meant to come off the side. So I know I love whenever people show pictures of their quilts, their machines, and they stand up a little a spool of Aurifil on their machine. That's actually supposed to come off the top. Crazy, right? So yeah, I talk about how to get your best effects, how to thread your machine, and different ways. Does your thread lay down? Does your thread stand up? Does it have a pin? Does it need a thread mast above it? All sorts of things like that. So that's in there. Day 12 was tensioning your machine to get that good stitch. You want that thread to go into the quilt, meet the stitch inside, and then come back out over the fabric and back into the quilt. You want to see that good quality stitch on the top and the bottom of your quilt. So that was last week in 30 days from quilt top to quilted. And today we're talking about making a knot. So taking how to make a knot at the beginning of your quilting and how to make a knot at the end of your quilting. And that can be a little tricky. But I have some pictures and diagrams and explanations of how to make those knots. But that's what's going on. Let's see, Terry, that's the best information on thread. It really does make a tremendous difference. It does. It really does. It changes how your thread comes off the spool. It changes how it interacts with your machine, changes how it interacts with the eye of your needle, and how it lays on your fabric, and how shiny your thread is if it's a thread that has some sheen to it. So yeah, I kind of geek out on this stuff, but that's what's in it. Today's lesson, like I said, is making knots. And I avoid knots whenever I can, but when I need to make knots, I make knots. You can hand tie them. How to cut your thread without taking your entire quilt out of the machine to reach under, and all of those things. So that's what's covered. And then I do have the rest of this week is scheduled to go up. So that'll just be going out daily. Where do you start quilting on a quilt? What to do with a walking foot or an even feed foot. And on Friday, our first stitching lesson is there. So Friday, there will be in the class a video of me stitching a blanket fort quilt. So that's the content in that class for the rest of this week. And then next Monday, I have a great big long YouTube video going out on how I quilted a quilt, but it also includes on how to get feathers to fit in the border. I'm looking at the quilt; it's hanging right over there. I needed a backdrop for something, so that's one's back up on the rack. Let's see, Good Stuff Ninja. Shiny does make a difference. It does. Shiny makes a huge difference. And how to make shiny shinier, which I'm not sure is part of the class because I have most of the class written and formed, filmed, scheduled, and everything, but there's still room for a few more lessons. So if there's something you particularly want to know about machine quilting, leave me comments. I respond well. But hopefully this class has been helpful, that you can go to for reference. I'm like, oh, how did she say this thread goes on better? Or how do I tension that? Or what am I doing? So I would like this to be a class you can go back to for reference time and time again. Oh, I'm having trouble with my ending knots. How did she say to do that? So that's what's new in there. So yeah, your new YouTube video will be next week. 30 days from quilt up to quilted content this week. Me leaving town and teaching in New Hampshire this week. Taking knitting, and I'll have to start find another project to take with me since I'm almost out of quilting, almost out of hotel room sewing. What to do? And in all this weather and unshoveled parking lots, I'm not dealing with carrying stuff in. I'm traveling light. Excuse me. I'm just checking for comments. Okay. Let me see my list of what else is here. Terry, time to cut more scraps. I may not even bring that. I may just bring some knitting, maybe an applique project, I'm thinking. We'll see if I bring enough for applique. I would bring another pair of socks, but I was knitting that pair of socks on these little flexi flip needles that are really long, really skinny, and really sharp. And I wore a hole in my index finger, and it's very tender right now. So when a needle goes into the soft spot on my finger, you ever get those a split in your finger in the winter? That's what it feels like. And then poke a stick in it. So I may not be knitting socks for a little while. Let's see. Bring some English paper piecing. I could do that. I'm thinking of doing an English paper piecing class. My library has a lot of art learn to stuff, so I might throw something together and see about that. I might have something to do with that. Shiny threads on my bobbins. Yes, that could work. Let me go to my list to make sure I told you everything I needed to tell you. Then I will fold my laundry and get on with packing my work stuff and packing my personal stuff to take to New Hampshire tomorrow. So where is my newsletter? No. Facebook Live. Nope. This week. Where did Facebook Live go? Next week. Here we are. Started Unity, dotted rays. I finished. Oh, I have a fabric sale up that I put up in my newsletter last night. Last night I thought I wasn't going to New Hampshire, but we ended up that the storm looks like it's only coming Sunday, so I am. So I will, if you get your order in for a fabric sale on my website, I'll get that shipped out tomorrow or Monday because I'll be away. And I think that's all I had on my list to tell you. Terry's thinking about a New York beauty. I have one started, but it's not at a place that I'm going to pull it out yet. But after this trip, I think I'm home for the whole month of February after February 1st. So I think I will have like 4 weeks at home before I travel again. So we'll see what I pull out and finish. And New Hampshire. It's my home away from home. I've been teaching at this quilt shop for this is my 20th year of teaching there, I think, 19th year of teaching there. I've met them 20 years ago. Good friends, and I know they'll take good care of me. It's always a great homecoming there. Madeline, careful driving, yes. I'm actually glad I drove yesterday rather than today because there was very little traffic on the road. It was kind of a little early. Like they weren't even allowing you to drive in New York State until 5. I mean, I got to New York State at 7, so I was totally fine. But I was ahead of when people were going back out in traffic. People were still trying to get their cars out. And I think it was really the right choice. I did drive through a squall, but who's to say there wouldn't be a squall in the Poconos today too? Because hello, it's snowing here. You wish you could join me? Me too. It'd be fun to have a road trip. So again, I have no idea what was going on with the comments not working and now working, but if I missed you, I apologize. But I'm glad you took time to join me today. Next week, we can talk more about the quilt that's on YouTube and next week's content in 30 days from Quilt Top to Quilted, and then what I'm up to with about a month at home. So I hope that you are shoveled out from the last storm. I hope that you are thawed. I hope that your furnace is keeping up with the demand, unless you are, of course, in southern Florida or maybe in the southern hemisphere, in which case I'm glad you missed all of this. Because it's been pretty nasty. So things are kind of tough in the world, and the weather has not helped. But take care of yourselves, whatever that looks like. Right now, I'm really busy with just getting home and just leaving. But when I go to take care of myself and in the hotel, it involves bringing some knitting with me, bringing some applique with me, bringing some English paper piece with me, because I know what I need to do for me. So take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. It's a rough world. So take care of each other. Be extra nice. Be aggressively nice if you have to. Be aggressively kind. I hope I can meet up with you in my travels somewhere. But if not, I will see you again here next week on Tuesday at 2:30. Sign up for my newsletter. I'll be sending out more content later this week. But happy quilting, everyone. And I'll be back next week